Hey guys, get ready for a gorgeous big full lunation, a full moon in Aries on the 9th of October at around 16 Aries. It's going to activate some connections to Venus in Libra. It's going to wake up a little bit of what we need to heal within ourselves regarding our deepest spiritual purpose as well, because it's connecting to Athena on the dog star Sirius. We're going to go a little bit more into how this deep, profound healing of maybe patterns around your values, what brings you pleasure and joy, how you like to relate to others in a fair way, compared to how you need to take care of yourself, what you really want and who you really are. Is sort of the self versus other axis, the Libra Aries, are playing out because of the conjunction to Chiron as well. So we have some Venusian influence, we have some Chironic influence, and we have a big, beautiful star Sirius involved as well. How this is going to impact you in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, which is how most these full moons work out, is going to be told to you in your rising sign forecast during this video. There will be timestamps here. Always listen for your rising sign. If you're new here, I am Lori Lothian. I am a Western tropical astrologer. I use Hellenistic Babylonian tools and techniques to help decipher what the sky's telling you about the month ahead, and for the world and for each of us individually based on our rising sign. So please like and subscribe if you're new. And if you didn't know this, I have a big contest coming up on Halloween, a big draw. I'm giving away more than 10 prizes, free readings, half-price courses, giveaway courses, a bunch of stuff. And if you just subscribe and tell me in the comments that you subscribe to the channel, or you subscribe to my newsletter, and of course I know you subscribe to that because you're in my newsletter emailers, you're also in a draw. So there's 2 ways to win, and just come on aboard and help me grow this channel. I just crashed through the 10,000 mark. I may eat an orange here. I'm getting over COVID. It hit me like a fucking I was a train wreck for 4 days. I had a headache from hell. I had a fever of 103 when it first hit me on Sunday. I might be COVID naive, just so you know. I'm not sure that I've actually had it before, because when I got sick in January, there were no rapid tests in my province, so I couldn't test myself to find out, and they stopped the PCR testing. But anyway, I'm over it-ish, but I got a bit of a brain fog, so bear with me if I seem spacey. I'm traveling. I'm visiting a friend in Ontario right now. Okay, so let's get talking about the all signs stuff as well as the general sky. First of all, right now, this moon is happening conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. You know, this is such a cliche little baby, the wounded healer, right, Chiron? Let me show you the picture of this before we go to all signs, right? What do you make of this guy, right? Chiron, right down here. He basically, he can really be connected to one's deepest purpose in life, because our unique original medicine, the thing we're here to do, like our fingerprint that's so us and nobody else has it, is connected to the archetype of Chiron, who was in the ancient world not just a healer who was wounded, all right, and sacrificed his life, by the way, to save somebody and get out of his pain, but he was also the mentor of the healers and heroes of the ancient world. Really consider that, right? This is an archetypal mentor, and the moon is full and it's bright and it's conjunct a mentor archetype. So to me, it's possibly suggesting that there's some wise spiritual mentor guide energy hitting us individually and collectively to heal something. Because you know what our wounds are when they're healed are our most strong spiritual gifts or talents or abilities. And at the same time, because Venus across the way is in an opposition from Libra, conjunct the sun, of course, making this a full moon, there's a strong possibility that she is not necessarily at peace with what this lunation wants. The full moon is trying to shine a bright light in Aries. It's where we can pioneer, be independent. It's about being selfish. There's nothing wrong with being selfish, sacredly selfish, you know, take care of you. What are your needs? What are your individual, independent, fierce, bold, selfness needs, right? And then Venus and Libra is all about, let's make the deal to work it all out. Let's not upset the apple cart. Let's bring some peace. She is invisible. We cannot see her in the sky. She's too close to the sun. So she's not up to her full strength, right? She doesn't really have all of her mojo here while she's still moving into the beams of the sun. So we have to consider her invisibility that will be in place until early December. So she's not as strong as she normally is. And she's getting ready to go into the sun and die and be born again on October 22nd, where she's going from her morning star to her evening star presentation. So she's in a bit of a weak place in the combustion with the sun. Nonetheless, she is across the way telling us all, it's better to be peaceful. Work it out. Do what other people want. Don't rock the boat. find compromise. But Aries is like compromise, schmompromise. It's all about me and what I want. So think about the balance between what you need and want, your independent, fierce spirit, and the need for compromise, conciliation, and relatingness in a kind, harmonious, and peaceful way. Now, you can see that Athena up at the top of the sky at 14 degrees of Cancer, sitting against the star Sirius, the dog star. It's a magical star. Spiritual awareness and wisdom can bring fame and success as well to individuals who have the star. The United States has their sun on Sirius. Therefore, this is a T-square of tension on the USA sun. Okay. Could be the United States in a rock and a hard place between a need to try to broker a peace deal or find some kind of balance in some area of the United States identity versus what Mars would want with that Aries energy moon, which is to do your own thing. Lastly, Athena herself, she's very strategic. She's like a wisdom and knowledge goddess. She can be like very warrior-like in Rome. One of the presentations of Athena is she's a goddess of victory and war. There's a square to a goddess of victory and war on the US sun, suggesting that maybe an attempt to broker a peace deal in the Ukraine or something like that, or the Taiwan-China scene, or somehow to create peace isn't going to work. And the reason I think is mostly Venus is invisible, but it doesn't help that there's a T-square with the war goddess Athena, the strategy goddess here as well. Individually, she can represent a place where we need to acquire deeper wisdom and knowledge. And we also have the dog star here, which is a star that involves wisdom and knowledge, right? So, here's a read up of Sirius, right? The brightest star, spiritual star of immense power, offers fame and success, can be turbulent or dangerous, star of magic, intense creativity, risk, and great rewards, deep and hard-earned understanding of the universe. Okay, so imagine that is a whole constellation of meanings that is attending to this particular lunation and connected to the United States of America's sun. And I just think that that's a pretty intense T-square because of that. The lunation lord is Mars, and Mars is moving direct. It goes retrograde October 30th, still moving direct through the sign of Gemini. And as he's going through Gemini, he's going to be especially like within a day or two of this full moon, making a square to Neptune. Huh. Well, I'd say what part of reality is being cleared up? What foggy delusions and illusions are we holding collectively and individually? But Mars is trying to shave away, cut away, strip away the fog, so we have clear ideas and thinking, and even communicating, speaking, Gemini, about what is real and true that we're not able to see before, because Neptune was obscuring things, as Neptune is prone to do, putting us in fantasy mode and out of touch with reality. Now, every full moon has a feature about it. It has the fact that it is a continuation of something that started potentially, in your life, in my life, earlier than this time, because a full moon happens 6 months after the new moon. So the new moon in Aries goes back 6 months ago in 2022, and it may be something you can bookend or connect the dots with about how what is coming to a fullness now that 6 months ago was being seeded as something new in April of 2022, and it was happening on April the 1st, 2022. So April Fool's Day, there was a new moon in Aries. What happened around the 2 weeks that followed that you may be able to sort of suss out as continuing or fruiting or flourishing or completing or being shone a big light on now. So go back to April, add 2 weeks, beginning of April, and maybe you can connect the dot on that part as well. Currently, last thing I'm going to say about the collective, we've got this Saturn Uranus activity in the sky. I didn't draw it in, but Uranus is in Taurus around 18 degrees. Saturn is over here around 18 degrees. They're in they're both retrograding, and they're getting closer and closer together. And this lasts until about the middle of October, but they never make a perfected square. They never get perfect. They're within minutes away, but they don't. So they refrain from perfecting the square. That's called refrenation, refraining from meeting together in perfected ways. And so it could be that this is going to lead us to a brink collectively of some crisis to do with war, most likely, just because this is an Aries full moon, this is Mars ruled full moon, and then we've got this tension between Saturn, the rules and regulations, the status quo, the governing bodies sometimes, and breakthroughs, rebellions, and sudden unexpected events, especially in the stock markets with Taurus, especially in the monetary and economic markets. So either we're looking at a hair-raising, scary, horrible market downdraft in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon, and or some saber rattling, like the Bay of Pigs in 1960, scary moment on the world stage regarding the Ukraine-Russia situation. It will pull back, however. Another thing it could be is a new virus, another variant on the Omicron spin is coming to the public's attention. A lot of fear, a lot of doomsday storylines about what's next, and then it because of the refrenation going on, it never turns out to be as scary, as daunting, and as horrible as all of that. That's all I'm going to say. And back to the stock markets. Well, hey, I can give you 1,000 reasons why there's probably going to be a major market correction, but a lot of historical market corrections have happened in October, and so just that fact, big ones in the month of October. In the Dow Jones had its worst September in 20 years. Yet in the in the United Kingdom, in Europe, COVID brain, excuse me, in Europe, there had to be like a bailout of plunging stock markets to stop the markets from crashing recently around the 28th of September. These sorts of interventions happen when things are extremely unstable. So yeah, so I don't want to worry everybody, like particularly about this, but the United States natal sun is in the 8th house, which has to do with banking, loans, mortgages, financial institutions, and there is a T-square to the sun of the United States in the U.S. Sibley chart's 8th house. So we do want to say that that looks daunting for the collective, or the U.S. stock markets anyway. Athena, wisdom and knowledge, warrior victory goddess, may be able to pull something out of a hat to help. And I'm kind of hoping on that refrenation, meaning things get bad, but they don't get so bad. You know what I mean? That it's like the doomsday clock hits half a second to midnight and then it backs off and time reverses itself. All right, we're going to do the all signs, guys. I mean, I am definitely COVID-y. Excuse me. I'm recording on October the 4th. My Patreon community usually gets this kind of thing 3 days before, but I'm behind schedule because I was sick. So they're probably going to get it a day before, and you're probably being given this on YouTube on Wednesday or Thursday, the 4th or 5th of October. Let's get rolling and talk about all signs. All right. Some of you like to look at the chart, and so I'm going to do it that way. It helps me timestamp things as well. So I'm going to make this a little bigger than it is, because I realize now it wasn't on full size. I apologize. We're going to move it back to Aries, and then we're going to get going. Of course, we have to start with Aries, right? So I'm not moving days, Lori, you're moving hours. Oh my God, guys. Did I tell you in the beginning that I'm having a contest and you should jump aboard? I think I did. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat myself. If you haven't signed up for Sky Reader yet, we start in mid-October, and it's open. The cart's open right now, and you get a 30% discount for the course just by signing up. All right, for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. And when you do, you will receive a discount code for Sky Reader. It'll be in the newsletter itself when you get the newsletter on Saturdays, okay? And we start October 15th, 8 weeks, live astrology course with me. And I love teaching this class. It's so much fun to teach astrology from the ground up. And you're going to learn some divine timing tools and techniques to use astrology predictively in your life so you can be your own astrologer and time your best life. So check out the Sky Reader course. I may not teach it again for another year. So if you want to get in a live class with lots of high touch with me, there are still a few spots left. We start mid-October. You have a private Facebook group and everything else. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Oh my God. Well, I'm one of you, and it's Chiron mentor energy conjunct the moon, the deep healing that's here between what I might want, you might want, we Aries people, especially rising sign, and we have a rising sign Aries anywhere between about, I'd say 10 to 20 degrees of the sign of Aries, this 16-degree moon, it's progressed forward, but it is 16 degrees at the time of the full moon. This 16-degree full moon is going to put us in a situation where things that we need and we want for ourselves and what we think is really important for our independence and for being authentic to that independent spirit of who we are, being self-directed, being autonomous, being sovereign. These are very intense Aries type words that I'm speaking, are really being activated by a full light in the house of our body, our sense of identity, our sense of self, and Chiron, where we've been wounded there, where we've not been able to lean in fully to, that spirit of to boldly go where no one's gone before and to carve our own path and to be a frontier and a scout and a guide that way for humanity. So a lot of Aries are assessing how important that is compared to what your spouse, your audience, your clients, or your business partners would like you to do, and which you sometimes do to keep the balance, to keep the peace, and to keep the harmony, and to make everybody happy. And there always needs to be a balance between self and other. That's the axis of this lunation for you. Full moon in the house of other, competing with the sun in the house of other, competing with the full light in the house of you. With Athena at a tip of a T-square on the dog star in your fourth house, some of this tension plays out in and from and through your home, where you live, your pad, your flat, who lives with you. And it may even be that some of the tension of the opposition can be broken through or defeated by focusing on 10th house matters. Now, this is a little cool trick you might want to learn. When you have a T-square, the tension of the T-square, which is a tough one. See, that red stuff is tense, 290 degrees in an opposition. You can break through the tension up here in your 10th house. The house across the way from the tip of a T-square and the sign is an indication of where there can be relief. All right. So, in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon, by focusing on your career, focusing on your reputation, focusing on what powers you up in the space of purpose and work, you may be able to mitigate or de-escalate what looks like serious tension about your home life. The moon is the lord of the place where Athena sits. That's the moon's home where this is happening. And in that regard, the moon does care, this full moon, about peace in her home. So I would say it looks like a lot of gnarly tension about maybe your love partner, business partner, or tension with clients and audience, and things that you're trying to accomplish in and from your home, and a hair pulling energy around doing it your way and not having to bow to the needs and responses and concerns of a significant other. Okay, especially if it involves place of living. And by focusing primarily on your career and that area of your sky, you just might find that you're able to cause this tension to calm down just a little bit in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon. There's my prescription. Lastly, Mars is moving through the third house of trips, travels, siblings, trains, planes, and automobiles. And there's a bit of a tension with that Neptune. You may have some confusion with a sibling and uncle cousin about something you wish to create or do online, or some travel delays or problems with travel, a little confusion or misunderstanding around themes of travel could be ongoing for you around the 2 weeks that follow the moon, but certainly close to the actual lunation itself. Alrighty, let's keep going. Thank you for listening, Aries. Don't forget, check out my Sky Reader course. You'll like it. It's fun to learn astrology if you're a beginner. Trust me. And you'll learn how to time your best life and all of that. Be your own astrologer. And it's 8 weeks and it starts October 15th. Get on my newsletter, Cosmic Moonshine, because then you get a 15%, 30% discount code off for the course itself. Sorry, I'm trying to eat an orange and do this at the same time. Ever since I got COVID, all I want to do is eat fruit. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Taurus people, in your sky, this is a subtle influence. It's in a house, it's an aversion to your house, right? You are here and the lunation is in your 12th house. Go back to April, first 2 weeks of April 2022, there was a new moon in Aries. You may be able to look at what happened then, Taurus, to do with 12th house themes. They were planting seeds to get rid of addictions, self-undoing, self-sabotaging patterns, the ways hidden enemies undo you, and you get like to participate in that because you're not paying attention. And the 12th house can be also things to do with karma, basically your past life stuff. And so it's a subtle, deep soul work, moksha house. So some of this lunation may have the same feeling that you went into therapy, like someone shot a spotlight into the closet of your darkest fears and your deepest wounds, because the chironic wound is here. So the woundedness here can be very deep and coming out of different lifetimes even. And across the way, in the house of your colleagues and your coworkers, and the place where you feel you need to be of service, your job, even your job environment, Venus is saying, let's be all nice and friendly, harmonious, kind. Let's not upset the apple cart. But she's kind of weak, right? She's invisible in the beams of the sun, but she's still Venus, and she's trying her best to, find compromise with those coworkers, colleagues, and people that you feel like you're serving, like if you're, in the job sphere, these are the people you serve. And you got this intense tension with Athena. She's like on that dog star in the house that belongs to the temple of the moon, in your 3rd house of siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, nieces, and nephews, short trips and travel, and your online world, and skills-based learning and teaching. So this can also be childhood friends as well, your 3rd house, people you met in your elementary and high school. So there's definitely some tension going on here, and you might have to figure out how to balance that tension. And it could be like, a real critical crisis moment where you want to just up and quit a job, for example, from this kind of sky, and just get the hell out. Or you may be facing some strategic challenges regarding how you organize 3rd house matters, things to do with events and obligations in your local neighborhood, for example. The tension releases the 9th house. This is up in the top of the sky, the house of God, house of your faith, your hopes, like not your hopes, like cross your fingers, more like what is the meaning of your life? How do you see faith and God and the wisdom of the universe? And what are your spiritual philosophies? And if you could sort of lean into those things, you might feel you might be removing yourself from the worst of these tensions. Also, travel to foreign lands or the 9th house. And the full moon is in the 12th house, another foreign lands travel place. So, maybe you can plan a trip to a foreign land that's going to take the edge off in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon, what feels like a really bit of gritty tension in your workspace, colleague space, and local space. Mars is in the shorter term near the lunation in that square to Neptune. He is the lunation lord, right? In charge of the Aries zone. So, and while he's in a whole sign sextile to the moon, he's not in a actual degree-based sextile. He's kind of past them. He's waning from that connection. But he will potentially, Mars, give you some confusion, delusion, breakthroughs around finances if you're a Taurus, okay? And maybe even exciting opportunity to move forward financially when in some area of your life where you were stuck because you were deluded about the goodwill of a friend or the friendliness of people who said they'd help you financially, and they maybe haven't pulled it up for you the way they said they would. So you're going to cut through something that was kind of confusing in your financial world in the couple of weeks at least that follow this full moon. Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. I hope the volume's okay. I don't have my big Yeti mic on, guys. So Gemini, the lunation, big full moon at October 9th at 16 degrees. of Aries is in your 11th house. Come study astrology with me. Sky Reader starts October 15th. If you sign up for my newsletter, guess what? You get a 30% discount code off from for the course. It'll come with the newsletter itself on the Saturdays that it's released. But anyway, back to, learning astrology, just pitching you guys. You Geminis like to learn. This is a house of good spirit. It's where you get karmic and cosmic rewards and pennies from heaven, and good things happen, and lucky breaks occur, and your dreams and wishes and your 5-year plan are here, and you're shining a big light up here and how you want that to look. And you're looking at healing some things to do, maybe even with friendships, larger groups of belonging and friendships are here. However, Chiron can also look like a mentor, a healer, a teacher, a coach, or a guide that is going to come your way through your groups of belonging, your friendship circles in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon. And you have to balance this tension here because Venus, even though she's weak under the beams of the sun, she still wants you to be harmonious and peaceful and loving and kind with your children, with your lover, with your creative mates in any creative projects or endeavors. And she's trying to get you to never let that apple cart get upset. But let's face it, right? Aries is about, your own desires and the spirit, it's the spirit of independence and the freedom to be self-directed. And so this could be a time in the 2 weeks that follow the moon of tension with your children or your lover in that regard. And at the same time, you do have this T-square to Athena, and she's in your 2nd house of earnings, possessions, money. And so there's definitely some money tension going on here, especially because all these houses can be money houses, 11, 5, and 2. So some of the Gemini people, rising especially rising, especially if your rising is 10 degrees, sun, moon as well, but more rising, and 20 degrees of the sign of Gemini. You're just going to find that you're coming up against a crucible of tension regarding your earnings and the money that's flowing through your life. And you need to come up maybe with a new strategy around your earnings. Athena will give you new ideas, wisdom, and strategy around money. And that you can break through this tension with the 8th house monies. That's leveraging money, right? Bank loans, mortgages, investment money, shared spousal or business resources, look at, like leveraging more money in your life and taking away some of that hustle. And in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon, hustle won't feel good to you. You're going to want to have a different approach to your finances. And this will show up as a relief point, the 8th house, another way of doing it. Mars is in that fog lifting, fog clearing of something to do with how you express yourself through your career. And all of a sudden, in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, thanks to the Mars square the Neptune, the fog is lifting. And you're starting to see the way forward in career ambitions. If you don't have a career, then purpose, what you think your purpose is. If you're a stay-at-home mom, your purpose is to be a mom. If you're a student, your purpose is to be a student. And areas of confusion about that process and how you want to show up are now beginning to clear. All right, Gemini, in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, because Mars is doing the clearing. All right. Cancer, sun, moon, rising sign. I'm sorry, guys, I have to eat. This rising sign energy means that you are a cardinal sign. You're a cardinal, meaning you square this action, and therefore it's really important for you. Go back to early April last year, 2022. What seeds were you planting as a Cancer rising, especially if your Cancer rising is 10 to 15 degrees in your career? What seeds were you planting? Because that's where this moon is happening. And it's bringing a full light to that part of your sky. What thing that you started in April regarding your career. But there's tension from your home life, people in your home, people who live with you. Says I have unstable internet. I hope not. I hope this is not a wobbly video. It shows that you have this tension at home. So who in your home life wants you to Oh, guys, if this internet's all, I'm not doing this again. If this Venus wants you to be and real estate tension here, but it could also just be like people in the home life aren't pleased with all of your focus on your career, all the bright light you're shining in your career. You got attention from your kids at home or family members living at home with you. You want to keep the peace and you want harmony, or you got a sibling visiting you, or a female in your home. That could happen here with Venus in your fourth house. And there's tension between what you need and want as well, because a strategic Athena in the house of your identity is having a T-square here. And so you may not be able to fulfill all of the feelings of what you're here to be doing fully in your career and expressing you the way you want to do. Okay. And because of gnarly tension in the home life. And then the breaking through of that tension is best to focus on the seventh house. Now that can be to focus on your marriage partner, your business partner, but also your client, your audience, your marketplace, for whatever you're concocting in your career house. That is the best solution to what is going on in your sky. I'm not going to move. Okay, I'm a guest. I don't want to be doing this in the middle of the living room. So good luck with that, guys. The fog is clearing with Mars from your own self-sabotaging, self-undoing to what you believe, what you have faith in, what you believe the nature of the universe is. Clearing that fog up, okay? Maybe even clearing the fog up on getting a trip abroad, going off the ground, and the 2 weeks that follow the moon. Leo, sun, moon, rising sign. So Leo people, you're going to experience a very flowing moon, okay? That's because it's trine your sign, and therefore it is in a positive flow to you, even though there's tension in this moon itself. And this big moon, go back to April last year. What were you hatching regarding foreign lands, higher education, court cases, legal affairs, your spiritual philosophy and beliefs? And the full moon is in that ninth house, bringing a fullness to this part of your sky, Leo. And now you may come to a culminating energy around all of those themes I mentioned. And it's going to heal something because Chiron's there and you're trying to heal some part of you. That it's about what you desire as an independent spirited energy that's good for you and feels like it's something for you that you want for you. And yet you've got to balance the tension with Venus in the house of siblings, the house of aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, childhood friends. What kind of person down here is giving you grief or is at odds with, and you feel torn between, in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, trying to balance the peace in that environment and get this whole full light going in your ninth house. And so, you know, even this can be a travel issue for you, between wanting to go far and wide and feeling stuck on a short domestic trip instead. Travel issues may be gnarly in the 2 weeks for you that follow the full moon. The T-square focuses at Athena, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom, in your 12th house of foreign lands, but also your own sabotage, your own self-undoing. How might you undo yourself? This full moon's house, the temple of the moon, is your 12th house in this lunation. The moon does care what happens over here. There may be a need for you to go under the hood of your own psychology, get rid of some of your own ways that you do not balance yourself out in the 2 weeks that follow this full moon. It's not like Leos tend to care that much about balancing the needs of others, you know, with the needs of the one and the many and themselves, but you seem to be dealing a bit of a dance with that in the 2 weeks that follow the full moon. Now, you can break the tension by focusing on sixth house matters, your health routines, your work routines, by focusing in that area of your life, health and work routines, the daily grind, but doing it in a very sustained and healthy way. You can break free of some of the tension. While Mars is squaring Neptune, he is clearing a fog of confusion around your finances with your spouse, your business partner, your investments, your bank loans, your credit cards, and your mortgages. And he's helping clear it from a very positive place, the lucky break house. Lucky breaks happen here. So who knows, it could even be a turnaround in your finances that Mars is going to try to achieve. But because it's a square, it may happen in a feeling of tension, a feeling of like, it's gritty, it's not easy. And maybe a friend is even offering advice or lending a hand and you're not sure you want to hear it, but whatever's going on, the 11th house fairy godfather space is being activated. You're going to be able to clear up some confusion maybe around your assets and resources, especially inheritances, bank loans, mortgages, credit cards, and stuff like that. Okay. Virgo, sun, moon, rising sign. You guys are having a full lunation in the 8th house of all those other people's money stuff. Bank loans, mortgages, investments, inheritances, spousal money, resources, palimony, alimony, taxes. I say taxes. And so Virgo, this is a time where this full moon, October 9th, will, and it go back to April, beginning of April last year. Think of tax season, especially. What were you doing with taxes, tax rebates, monies, shared money with your partner? Okay, think back to then, Virgo, because it's a full light shining here. You know, a full moon in the 8th house, because 8th house is a dark house. It's hard for you to see it. Like it's hard for you to get your eyeballs on that house. And a full moon lights up things that are secretive or hidden from you in that financial spectrum of your chart. You may have some reveals from your partner or business partner, financial disclosures or new developments. They may be somewhat unsettling. Venus wants to keep the peace in your 2nd house of the resources, the possessions, and the money that flows through your life. She wants harmony at all costs, but she's weak because she's under the beams of the sun, combust, in fact. And so she doesn't have that much say, but you may feel like you have to speak softly, you know, and carry a big stick because speech is a 2nd house. Regarding some financial tension. Now, some of this could involve the eldest sibling. This could also involve a tension with a friend or an ally who doesn't have your back, but you thought did in the financial realm. That's just that tension with Athena, the knowledge and wisdom strategy goddess in your 11th house. To break through some of this tension, which is very much on money axes for you, I suggest that you break through by focusing on your creativity, your pleasure, your joy, your romance, by entering into the zone of the 5th house and letting the T-square loose a little bit. I do that again, because in case half this video was like wobbly as F, I'm going to go inside. All right. And hopefully I'm not going to be talking too loud for anybody in the house. Give me a minute. Okay. So Mars is clearing up a confusion, a fog, or a delusion, all right, that may be going on here regarding your marriage partner or your significant other or your business partner or the way you serve your audience and clients, okay? So just keep all of that in mind. One way that can look like is there's a verbal disagreement with your partner, but it's good because it clears the air and clears out the fog. Also, you may find tension going on with a boss at work and clearing the air with that boss at work regarding themes of how you serve the audience, clients, etc. in that business, for example, can really be important. But mostly, I think it will have to do with clearing some illusion or delusion regarding a significant relationship. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. This full moon is happening in the house of significant other. This can be your relationship to your partner, your lover, your clients, if they're important to you, your audience, also a business partnership. And this is also legal agreements where you sign contracts and make vows and oaths house. So, you know, what was happening in April in those areas of your life, because that was the new moon in April of 22. Now here comes the full moon. There is a need with Chiron here to heal some wounds you have, Libra, around significant love relationship commitments. And this is going to be in your face a little bit, okay? On the 9th, add 2 weeks. And if you want to come to my Sky Reader course, I keep forgetting to tell you guys, check it out. Starts October 15th. Get on my mailing list by joining my Cosmic Moonshine Weekly Forecast letter, and you get a 30% discount code off that course. All right, so live 8 weeks. So the tension here can also be that, you know, Venus is you, like she's in the house of you, invisible under the beams of the sun, but nonetheless, she's still there. And yes, you're feeling more charismatic, a bit more attractive, a bit more on your game, but she would have you a compromise with a person that you don't really want to compromise with, or compromise in a situation that you really don't want to compromise in. And so compromise or making the peace would be your inclination anyway, Libra, and Venus is increasing that for you. You just want to please the other person, your business partner, your main partner, or whatever. You really don't want to upset the apple cart, but good luck, because, you know, you've got a T-square with Athena in your 10th house. Athena in the 10th house can be also tension at work, in the workspace, in the career space, that's being activated, as well as the tension with your significant other. It's kind of a hair-pulling feeling on the 9th of October, add 2 weeks. You can break through some of this tension by leaning into the 4th house and really enjoying what you're doing in your home, the time you spend in your home, your private downtime, your private life. It's a place of release in the 2 weeks that follow this moon, because it's the opposite of that T-square house. And so finding some solitude and solace in your home, some downtime to enjoy your time in the home, right, is exactly what can be the panacea, the balm, and the healing in the tension of this moon. A full moon in the house of relationship could shine a light on something that you weren't seeing about your partner, and now you'll see it more clearly, just so you know, good or bad. Mars is trying to break through a fog bank here that you've had around your health, or your work and your work systems, you know, the way you do your work you do, or things to do with your colleagues and coworkers, and things to do with your health and health routines to avoid sickness. And Mars is squaring Neptune from the 9th house. This is an educational house, for example, and a travel house. Now, it could be that by taking a trip, you have time away, and in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, and you start to see your health in a new light. It could be that you have this tension around legal matters and work matters, or debt, like debt, loans and money, and that's clearing through as well. And I realized I got a dirty lens still. What the hell? Look at the light. And all of that. So whatever. Okay. Oh my goodness, hey guys. So anyway, so you're clearing up that fog, but certainly Mars can help cut away any confusions you have around health problems that have been challenging you. And you might find 9th house can be expert authorities, you know, the person who has the mastery in some area, coming through with the answer to whatever has been ailing you as a Libra, and removing that health challenge from your life as well. Okay, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. What's happening for you is that you're experiencing the energy of a full moon in your 6th house of work and work routines and health routines. This is a great opportunity for you to really have a full light shining in this part of the sky to bring you some resolution to health challenges, especially. But you've got tension from Venus in the 12th house. She loves her pleasures. The 12th house is bed pleasures. It's all kinds of pleasure when she's there, you know, chocolates, addictions, especially things that bring us a dopamine hit. Venus is in Libra in the 12th house. She is coming into the beams of the sun, getting ready to be born again. She's kind of weak here. Okay, I will say that, but she's still in a pleasure seeking place. So you may be careful here around that. And you may have a push pull between wanting to clean up your health act, Scorpio, and just lean into the customary habits, addictions, pleasures that you default to. So the full moon in Aries can help you break free of that. Go back to April. Did you try to like quit smoking or quit vaping? Or, you know, April was a new moon in your 6th house and maybe you didn't fully pull it off. This full moon can give you the clarity to heal that kind of stuff so you can be much more healthy. Chiron is a healer. You might go to a hypnosis healer, a miracle healer, a Reiki healer. It could be a full moon that 2 weeks following the full moon, you end up in the orb of a healer, and that will help you heal, okay, this issue that may be plaguing you to do with self-undoings and addictions or self-sabotage. You know, there's a tension with Athena in the 9th house. This is a house of God, house of knowledge, house of wisdom. What kind of knowledge and wisdom is trying to break through to help you with all of these things, but you may feel it's really gnarly. Athena can be a lawyer, the 9th house can be courts. So also it could be what kind of situation, legal matters, or higher education matters, or foreign land matters. are challenging you, in a one Vedic astrology system. The third marriage is the ninth house. Okay. Maybe your third marriage partner is challenging you, whatever. So Scorpios, you're definitely looking at that tension being relieved by stepping into enjoyment of the third house, time with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, maybe even time going to pubs and restaurants, just finding your peace and enjoyment, a short trip, a trip away. These are third house things can help in the 2 weeks that follow, break up some of this tension. Mars is helping defog the window of your romance, your fertility, your children, your confusion around children, your own children, having children, getting pregnant, your creativity, your inspiration, your muse. Some of you can channel some deep, deep creativity if you're creative, because Neptune is squaring Mars, but Mars is in the deep occult mystery house and a deep place in the sky. So this is like, could you possibly come up with some new creative ideas as well that are really quite amazing. If you've been stuck and the muse has been dead in the water, maybe this will break through muse stagnation for some of you people. And if you're a single Scorpio, this is probably not the best placement for a new relationship to start, because Mars would be a secret lover, because there's infidelities or affairs going on. So stay away from that. If you've had any kind of thing like that happening in your life, then Mars can cut that away and show you that there's better deals out there than to be in complicated triads. Alrighty. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. So as a Sagittarius, you're going to experience a full moon in the house of romance and inspiration, joy, play, sexuality. Now it's a big light with the wounded healer as a part of it, a big full moon with the wounded healer. What are you healing in your sexual life, in your romantic life, in your relationship to your children, in the relationship to your muse? And how is that looking compared to this desire for balance, harmony, compromise with 11th house factors, meaning friends, large social groups of belonging, and sometimes even the great financial gains that are available from your career path. Venus here can bring you great gains, perks, awards, rewards, bonuses, but she is invisible and she's going into the beams of the sun. And you may be pulled between having fun and working for some financial gain that you think is a perk, and you're like a donkey following the carrot when all you want to do is have fun. Girls just want to have fun, The new moon is in a trine to your identity, which is positive, and it is trying to open up some healing through the mechanism of more fun and joy. And in fact, you can do leisure travel in the 5th house as well, which could be quite a lovely healing for you at this 2 weeks that follow the moon. Go back to the new moon, of course, in April of 22, what seeds were planted in the 5th house that are coming to fullness as well. Because there's a T-square with Athena and she's in the 8th house of shared resources with your spouse or partner, money that belongs to the family of origin, like inheritance, legacy wealth, or bank loans, mortgages, and stuff like that, you may be feeling money tension as a big theme of this full moon, because it is all money houses, 11, 5, and 8, to break free of what could be a feeling of gritty money tension. Well, you want to take your focus to your earnings, right? You want to focus more on what you do have, what you can make, what hustle you can put into place to make remedies for financial stress in other parts of your life. It may also be that your marriage partner's got stress in their finances. It's not about you, but you can pick up an extra shift at work or work harder or something like that. Mars is going to break a tension, like a fog with your home life. You've been confused, some Sages, about what to do in and from your home. Do you want a better home, a dream home? Is this home your home? You want you're looking for your dream home, basically, and yet you haven't been you've been confused since 2011. And Mars is going to help defog your confusion by peeling away information you might need to know. you might get the information from a legal person, a lawyer, a spouse, a partner, an ally, a client, or there could be some negotiation of a legal matter. Mars, battle, negotiation, contracts, legal matters to do with your home. And at the end of the day, at the end of this Neptune Mars thing, I think it's going to feel like you've got clarity and the confusion is lifting. So that does take place a couple of days after the full moon, but it kind of informs the 2 weeks after the full moon as well. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Do you want to learn astrology? Join my Sky Reader class. Starts October 15th. Check the description box below. Sign up for my newsletter. It's 30% off. 8 weeks live with me. Lots of fun. Okay. Let's get going. You do have a full moon, angular, right? Because you're one of the cardinal signs, angular to your sky. So it's important. And it is a full moon at 16 degrees in your 4th house of home. A Capricorn with a full moon in the house of home. Well, that means something big light shining in your domestic private life. And you might want to go back to what was going on in April because you planted a seed there. And it's got some healing needs to be done here. This is also the house of the mother in traditional astrology. So maybe some mama healing is going on. Mother wound healing is happening under the light of a full moon with, the seed that was planted for that healing in April. If you're having challenges and struggles in your home of any kind, this is trying to heal that, but you have tension between the home life and the work life with Venus in your 10th house of career and work and purpose, in a gnarly opposition, of course, because she's sitting with the sun up there as well. So you can't please all of the people all the time, especially those in the work environment. Now, your reputation is the 10th house. And when Venus is up there, it's like the wedding placement, but it can also be about love reputation. So are you having tension between your love reputation and your private home life? And it's a weird one, but it could happen that way. And you are looking at tension with your spouse, your significant other, sometimes your business partner. This is definitely very gnarly for Capricorns for existing relationships. I mean, this can even look like your significant other saying, I'm seeing a lawyer, or I'm checking out of this relationship. I'm breaking a vow, the house of vows. That's why it's a marriage house. It's a vow, right? To be married to someone. So there's some tension going on here for some of you already partnered Capricorns. If you're single, not to worry. This is not about that. And then what'll happen is that you can break that tension by focusing on you. Like, get your eyeball off what your boss or workplace people want, or about what your partner is telling you. Get back into your own self, focus on you, focus on yourself, what you need, come home to the home base of you. Orient from your center, be fully solidly in yourself around the 2 weeks that follow this full moon. It would be easy to be destabilized into some chaotic energy that your business or significant love partner is enabling in your life or bringing into the story. Mars is trying to clear the fog, the Neptune fog, about 3rd house matters. Siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, short trips and travel, skills-based learning, and local neighborhood things. And he's doing that from the 6th house of your health and work routines. You just want to know that it's time to really clear up some health challenges and get off some confusion, delusion regarding your wellness and your health, especially as it pertains to things that connect to your local neighborhood or your family of origin and siblings and aunts, uncles. I don't know how health can connect to those people, but there you go. Also, trips and travel. Maybe you think, oh, just by traveling, I'll feel healthier, and going away, it'll be more fun and I won't feel so icky. But yeah, and then Mars has got like, no, it's not about a trip. That's not a solution, for your health or your work routines. You can't just take a break and go back to the grind. So you're trying to break away from some delusional pattern there. Okay, Capricorns, good luck with that. All right, guys, I'm an Aquarius rising. So this is for us. Sun, moon as well, of course, but rising is always best. Your rising sign, us people, this is a 3rd house full moon, 16 degrees on October 9th. We planted seeds in our 3rd house in April of 22. What seeds did we plant that have to do with siblings, trips, and travel? online world stuff, skills-based teaching and learning. So last April, I was promoting my Sky Reader course. By the way, it's back again in October. Would you like to take it? Sign on up. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. 8 weeks live with me, a classroom space on Padaya and also on Facebook private group, and lots of high touch and lots of Q&A one Q&A coaching call a week to follow up from the live class. Okay. Jump in, check it out. It's affordable. And if you sign up for my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, you get a 30% discount code off. It'll be in the first newsletter you receive. So there you go. All right. So Aquarius, for us, this is sextiling our ascendant. So it's not the most harsh placement, right? And so it's kind of like a full light is shining on a place in our sky that we have a positive relationship to. And it may be asking us to look at healing a relationship with a sibling, or healing a relationship with a childhood friend, or healing a relationship or a connection to something to do with our goals and ambitions around the online world, especially if you are like me, because it's a communication house, putting a lot of social media content out there. And yeah, we planted seeds for that in April. So it's not brand new. And then there's tension with that Venus, combust the sun. Yes, not visible, but she's still up there. Who wants to find harmony, balance, peace, and compromise with ninth house stories, which would be like students if you're teaching a class, or mentors and guides if you have them, not necessarily agreeing with you or seeing eye to eye. But you may be able to be mentored or guided as well. Because Chiron can open up a door to some new teacher, guide, or mentor for you that's going to be very powerful, coming in from the local area in which you live, or through a travel or trip or journey you take. So with Venus at the top of the ninth house and the sun in Libra, this is also legal affairs, right? Libra, library, but also legal matters, scales of justice. So any unresolved legal court issues are up in the air or ongoing that are going to be on the spotlight for you during the window of time that follows the 2 weeks after this moon. Athena is in the house of karmic debt, sometimes literal debt, money you owe, your work and habits and work routines, your pets. I've got a pet. Might be some tension regarding a pet during this time. I had a dream I got a dog the other night, guys. Last time I had a dream I got a dog, I got a German Shepherd. Yeah. So anyway, this is interesting. I forgot about the dream till now. So some of us Aquariuses may be looking at tension regarding the theme of pets as well. Little 4-legged animals that we can fit into our home. And also just, the 6th house can be our own daily habits of work and habits for health. And we're in this tension, and the moon, it's a temple of the moon where the 6th house is, and the moon is full in the 3rd. It could be that your better health depends on things to do with really dealing up some healing in the 3rd house, right? Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, local neighborhood. Maybe you're in the wrong neighborhood or something like that. You can deliver a relief from the tension by diving into your 12th house. Subtle house, your dreams at night, your meditation, your connection to the divine. I bought these Muse headphones back with me I'm in Ontario, from Vancouver. You put them on and it helps you meditate and go into a completely cool brainwave state. So I'm going to be practicing with them. I haven't had wine in 10 days or 11 days. I haven't had coffee in 11 days because of COVID. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm so I'm so sober, but I'm so purified. So I want to keep up with that for the next 40 days, if not forever. I thought I loved coffee, but I'm not sure I love it anymore. Okay. So this is Athena saying, find strategic ways to be healthy, strategic ways to do your work routines. And then take some downtime for your soul, basically. All right, Aquarius, what's the thing? Take downtime for your soul. Yeah, that's what you should do in the 2 weeks that follow this full moon. And Mars is breaking a fog around confusion around possessions and earnings. And he's helping you do that by inciting some inspiration, some fun, some muse inspiration, some pleasure, independent business enterprise actions as well. He's going to help you get out of a fog of delusion and confusion regarding earning strategies. So that will show up during the moon, after the moon, and the couple weeks that follow. All right, thanks for that, Aquarius. Let's keep going. And it's Pisces last but not least. If you are a Pisces, you experience this full moon in your earnings house, the second house at 16 degrees of Aries. And you planted earning seeds back in April of 22, or you planted possessions seeds, like a wish list of what you want to buy or something. And now it's coming to a fullness. But you've got tension with Venus in the house of shared money with spouse or business partner or the bank or the mortgages or the loans or the inheritances. And so that kind of tension over there is kind of eating away at what you want, but there's a full moon here. So you're trying your best to bring full money to the storyline, Pisces. However, the 8th house is secrets, and what kind of secrets could be busting forth from your significant other or your business partner as well that are in your face as you look at this money, possessions, and earnings part of your sky. Tension from Athena and a T-square in the house of your lovers and your children. Sometimes this can just literally be you have difficult financial problems going on in your life because or with a child, especially an adult child wanting more money from you or something. And you're trying to heal it because, Chiron is like, can you heal this woundedness around whatever might be connected to finances and children or finances and your creativity? Are you the wounded one here because you hustle and work hard for your money, but you don't have any fun or enjoyment anymore? And then therefore, Athena, be strategic about it. We'll try to help you find through the tension of this discomfort, strategic ways to enjoy making money. You can release the tension in a short-term way by spending more time with your friends, spending more time in social settings, doing things with people you enjoy in groups of belonging that you choose to belong to. Okay, Mars, he's trying to break up some fog and confusion about your health, about the way you see your body, the way you see your own identity. This fog has been here since 2011, dissolving you. You have become amorphous, spacious, mystical, ill-defined, yet this is also imaginative, visionary, deeply creative energy as well. And Mars will square that Neptune, and he'll do this again later, by the way. This is not a one-off story, but we're not doing that video today. And he can help shear away or clear away the fogginess and the uncertainty in some area of your identity. And he does it from the 4th house of the ancestors, the maternal line, the mother, or your home life, or something in the home. Like, not going to mince words. If you're a Pisces rising, especially, you're going to maybe arguing in the home, conflict in the home until next March with that Mars transit, long transit. So you could also find a fight in the home, a conflict with someone in the home is a defining moment that really clarifies for you who you really are and who you wish to become and who you are meant to be. So if a fight happens October 9th, add 2 weeks, look at it as a blessing in disguise. Mars is helping clear the fog from your eyes, lift the rose-colored glasses off your eyeballs. Okay. All right. So I kind of had to go inside. I was losing the signal outside. Then I'm losing the light in here. Don't forget, guys, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I got the weirdest lighting there. And I'd really appreciate it if you sign up for my Cosmic Moonshines newsletter so you can get on the early bird, well, not even early bird, 30% discount off my Sky Reader class. If you're listening to this on the premiere with me and you've made it through, thank you, guys. It was fun hanging out with you, spending time. Don't forget, punch that like button, helps my channel grow. Mwah.